what Pokemon would be featured in community days throughout the year of 2022? Well, we made some predictions. I'm Alex Gum aka Chicle, and welcome to Pokemon Go Ahead.
Yes, let's go! Shiny Buizel! Oh my god! Yes! Oh my god!
First of all, I hope you guys like that new intro I made. I think it looks dope. Second of all, I spent a lot of time making a list of Pokemon that would most likely have a community day, because after what happened in the last year and a half, anything could be a community day. So we had to make like a broad set of like qualifications on what could be a community day after what just happened. And third of all, you guys should subscribe to this channel and you should give this video a thumbs up. This is not supportive whatsoever. I don't care what your opinion is. Just give it this. Just to give it some love and support. And that notification bell as well. So, I think before we discuss about which Pokemon would have a community day, we gotta talk about the qualifications. First of all, the majority of Pokemon, this is still the same. They're all 3-stage evolutions. And there's a couple with some exceptions, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But some of these 3-stage evolutions could be starter Pokemon. That's the main one. We also have some 3-stage evolutions that are pseudo-legendary Pokemon or rare Pokemon. We also have some Pokemon with some kind of sort of evolution specialty, such as the item, specifically the Sinnoh Stone. Potentially Unova Stone could be on this list based on what I just put down. We also have training requirements, because some Pokemon can evolve by trades, so you could save that candy and do a special trade, or any traits. We also put down Pokemon that would evolve with a requirement of 400 candy. We also put down a Pokemon that could potentially have more than one evolution. Two examples are the 2 Eevee community days we had, and the Ralts community day when we got to evolve Kirlia into either Gallade or Gardevoir. And finally, this could be a new thing, but this was an example for some repeated community days like Charmander, and we also had a Mega debut, but we may get a Mega evolution or Pokemon spotlighted that could Mega evolve. And there's a small handful, but I just put it down there just for consideration. There are some Pokemon that are shiny and some that are not shiny yet. So I hate community days that have a Pokemon spotlighted that already have a shiny, but I feel like that's what we're going to be doing from now on, is just have a Pokemon just there, right? And also, if there's a hatch distance bonus, there's a chance that a Pokemon can be spotlighted that's in a 2nd stage evolution when the 1st stage is from a 2K, like a baby form. Just like we had with the Magmar, Electabuzz, Roselia community days. So anything could be possible at this point. I mean, if we had a Shinx community day, which is a Pokemon that's not normally in the wild, anything can be in the wild for a community day. So literally we can just throw in some crazy stuff and we'll see if Niantic's like, I don't know, they may do something crazy for a community day. So we're going to break it down. I had to get one specific one out of the way because it's been leaked, and I'm just going to say it. There's going to be a Chansey community day in January. It's going to happen because Pokemoners posted a picture of a photobomb asset of Chansey, just like with Shinx. Honestly, I feel like Chansey's going to have a community day whether we like it or not. A couple things could happen though. We could have hatch distance during that community day. Chansey's evolution Blissey can learn the quick move Charm, because what else would be good in a battle in PvP against fighting type attackers? I mean, Togekiss really killed it every time with Charm. And I think Blissey would do the same thing. And also, there's Happiny in 2K eggs, right? And then with the hatch distance, you can just put in an Infinity Incubator and hope for a shiny Happiny. I mean, at first I thought it was kind of disappointment, but hey, I'd be down. So the first thing I said, starter Pokemon. So I think the group that we're going to mention are the Gen 6 starters, because we already have community days for starters from Gen 1 to Gen 5. It may not be towards the second half of 2022, but I feel like we'll see Chespin Community Day around, I want to say May or June of 2022. because I feel like it'd be kind of too early to have Chespin in February or January at all. But, I mean, Shiny Chespin looks dope. And then, oh my gosh, if we had a Froakie Community Day. If we had a Froakie Community Day and Greninja has not only Hydro Cannon, but the fast move Water Shuriken, I would be so happy. I would be so happy. Next up, we have Pseudo-Legendaries, because there are some Pseudo-Legendaries that had Community Days, like Beldum, Dratini, Larvitar, Bagon, Gible, all those guys. So I think the best one to list out, whether we like it or not, because it's already a shiny, I think Dino will have a Community Day. But I feel like when we evolve it into Hydreigon, it'll probably learn Draco Meteor, because that's a really strong Dragon-type move. And I think that this would give everyone a chance to evolve into Hydreigon if they don't have enough Dino Candy, or if they couldn't be able to afford to get a ticket from the recent Go Fest that we had, which featured Dino. For those like myself who already spent a lot on incubators, like, that would suck. But I feel like that's what they're going to do anyway. And then I also put down Gumi and Noibat for consideration. Now, I want to talk about Noibat because it is not a 3-stage evolution, but it's somewhat a pseudo-legendary. But one of the requirements that I listed out earlier is that it could evolve with the requirement of 400 candies. Just kind of like what we have with the Magikarp Community Day and the Swablu Community Day. So I feel like since Noibat evolves into Noivern in Pokemon Go with the requirement of 400 candies, and that is not an easy Pokemon to get in the wild, and some of you don't hoard rare candies, I think this would be pretty beneficial. Plus, shiny Noibat looks pretty good with that green color, at least in my opinion. So, I mean, in addition, I feel like if Noivern were to have an exclusive move, I think Dragon Breath would be a really good quick move since it already learns Draco Meteor. It just needs something super quick. And I think you're set. You have a more agile Noivern. And then I finally put Gumi on there. I think the Gumi evolution line as a shiny looks clean. And the only thing that kind of like threw me off was trying to find an exclusive move for this one, because it does learn Draco Meteor and it has a really good set of attacks like Power Whip and is that Hydro Pump that it has? Anyway, I think if it were to learn a quick move, I think it should be a Zorb. I don't even know if it's a move. I think it should be if it's not. But that's the only one I could think of that it could learn when it evolves into Guja. Now, like I said, majority of the Pokemon listed are all 3-stage evolutions. But specifically, there are some that have evolution requirements, such as trading. Like, you can trade a Pokemon, so then you don't have to worry about that candy requirement. So that's like a 200 candy discount just to simply just trade with 0 candy to its final evolution. So for example, if I were to trade Haunter with somebody, like maybe another Haunter, and we made that trade, I don't have to put in any candy into that evolution. So we have a couple that could not only have a trade requirement for the evolution, but we could have that community give us some kind of trade distance or trade discount bonus during that community day. And I listed out 3, and they're all shiny already, but I feel like this would be beneficial for the evolution. I think that Geodude is the first one. The other one would be Timber. You guys are shaking your heads. I could feel it. And Roggenrola. And again, those are already shiny, but hear me out. We are missing 1 out of the 4 of the original 4 that you would be trading for evolution. Like we have Machop into Machoke, trade it, that's Machamp. Then same thing with, Alakazam and Gengar. And then we're missing Golem. And that's part of that quad, the first original 4. Geodude evolves into Graveler, and then he evolves into Golem by trade. And I also think that would be a really interesting Pokemon to have as a community day, because it has an Alolan form. And we never had a community day where we not only feature a Pokemon, but we also have never featured its Alolan form or Galarian form of any sort. I think Earthquake would be a very beneficial ground-type move for Golem, and maybe Alolan Golem if they want to go that route. Oh yeah, and then we got to talk about Timber and Roggenrola. Let's talk about Timber, because like I said, if Shinx is going to have a community day, which is a Pokemon that's not normally in the wild, literally anything can be a community day feature. And Timber could definitely be one of those because it is in 10Ks and in tier 1s sometimes. And that's the shiny that people go after a lot. And I feel like, because I got my shiny from an egg hatch, like I didn't have to worry about any rates. But I could see Timber having its community day for a few reasons. Again, the trade bonus. We don't have to go over that again. It's a really cool shiny. That has nothing to do with it, but I think it looks cool. And I think it would have a really good exclusive move when he evolves into Conkeldurr to give us some advantage against the Psychic types. I don't want it to feel like it's a repeat of a Machop Community Day, but I think having it learn Payback would be pretty beneficial against those Psychic type attackers. And then we did get a lot of shiny Roggenrola in multiple events, but I would love to see another shiny Roggenrola and like a lot of those shiny Pebbles. Like I would love to see those purple Pebbles everywhere, bro. Like, yo, Fruity Pebbles, like let's freaking go. I think that, you know, like Roggenrola is pretty much the same reason for Timber and Geodude, but I think if it were to evolve into Gigalith and have some kind of quick move or an exclusive move, I think the quick move Mud Slap would be pretty beneficial. It's not like the best sounding one, but I feel like a ground type move would be pretty beneficial. Plus, I think the charge moves that it already has like pretty good ones. So I think a quick move would be more beneficial for a very bulky Pokemon like Gigalith. Plus, shiny Gigalith looks really good. Do you guys not have a shiny Gigalith? Next up, we have a set of Pokemon that can either evolve by Sinnoh Stones or Unova Stones. We don't have yet a Community Day Pokemon that yet have a Pokemon evolution requirement for Unova Stones quite yet, but I feel like that's what's going to happen because it's kind of like with Sinnoh Stones. So there's one that I wrote down that has not had a Community Day that does require a Sinnoh Stone. I think it's going to be an interesting one. It already has a shiny, but I think it would be worth mentioning. I think we may get a Magnemite Community Day. Now, first of all, shiny Magnemite, it looks so fire. I bet that some of you guys are still looking for a shiny Magnemite. I could be wrong. But, again, it's one of those Sinnoh Stone evolutions that you probably need. And if Magnezone were to evolve and it had an exclusive move, I thought about it. I think a really good, quick, exclusive move that Magnezone can learn would have to be Lockdown. I think Lockdown would be such a really good move. And then, of course, I listed one of them. I was going to put two, but one of them was Timino, and I wasn't really sure how that was going to work out. But I did put Liquid down because Liquid evolves into Lampent, which then uses a Unova Stone. Also, we would have had a Liquid Community Day back in October, but we had a Duskull Community Day instead. Like, come on. Can we get a Litwick for next year, please? Like, I don't want to talk about it furthermore. Like, we all know why we want Litwick. The shiny looks good. Like, make it happen, please. So the next one is a little bit complex because, like I said, we had some Pokemon feature for Community Day with multiple evolutions, one of which is Ralts because it evolves into Kirlia, and then it has two evolutions, which are Gardevoir and Gallade. And then, of course, we had two Eevee Community Days, featuring all the Eevee evolutions. So now we need to talk about something that I feel like it could be a little bit complex because I think this is the one that really sticks out, but I don't know how it's going to pull off. But in a way, if they're going to do something, unique, I think they should do a Tyro Community Day. It's interesting that I decided to pick Tyro. Some of you may say it's less likely because Tyro is a baby Pokemon. But Tyro, I could see it like it's in the wild in other main series games, and you're probably thinking dude, that's in every baby Pokemon in every main game series. But then again, you never know because, like I said, Shinx would never originally be in the wild. But what if Tyro was in the wild for a limited time? Because here's the thing, it has 3 different evolutions. And I feel like it would be kind of weird to have all 3 of them, spawn all at once in a Community Day. Because, we never had 2 different Pokemon spawning in a Community Day before. That'd be kind of weird. If that's what they want to do, then that would be crazy. But I mean, how else are we going to get a Tyro in a shiny form? How else are we going to get shiny Hitmontop? Like, we have Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, but, I mean, we don't have Hitmontop and Tyro yet. So, like, I can't think of anything else aside from, I don't even know if they're going to do a Johto Tour event. Like the Kanto Tour, but Johto. And then we'll have the Tyro Nakes. I don't know. But what I do know is, if it were to have a community day, all 3 evolutions would have to share some kind of exclusive move to be beneficial in PvP or raids. And I feel like the one common move that it could use would be Bullet Punch. Bullet Punch is a Steel-type move, and I think it would benefit all 3 evolutions if it were up against a Fairy-type. Maybe Niantic will figure it out, but Tyro Community Day, yeah, why not? There are some Pokemon that had a Community Day based off the evolution process of having 400 candy requirements, which were Magikarp and Swablu. And we talked about Noibat earlier, but there's one more Pokemon. You guys are probably shaking your head, but I think this is like one of the only candidates that could potentially have a Community Day, and that's Wilbur. Wilbur Community Day would be pretty interesting because, you know, we haven't seen Wilbur in a long time, and I feel like it'd be really interesting to see a bunch of Wilbur in the wild at once. And again, it takes 400 candies to evolve Wilbur into Wailord. But what exclusive move would Wailord learn? I think it would learn Body Slam. And if you don't think that's a really good exclusive move, I mean, we had a Slack Off Community Day where we had Slaking learn Body Slam. So there you go. And finally, I did mention that Pokemon could potentially get a Mega Evolution. And there's 2 that I listed out, and they're already shiny. But they're 3-stage evolutions. One of which is Pidgey. Pidgey Community Day would be interesting because we do have Mega Pidgeot and a shiny Pidgey. But I feel like, you know, there could be a bonus where we could do some Mega Pidgeot raids. And the research can give us some free raid passes. Or even better, free remote raid passes to do those raids. And maybe we can get a Pidgeot to learn Heat Wave to handle those Steel types that tend to be very bulky against flying types like Pidgeot. Here's another one, and it's a new Mega that has not been in Pokemon Go yet. I think we should get an Agron Community Day. And that's just simply so that we can get a Mega Agron debut. That's literally it. And, you know, like, we have some community days that could most likely have a repeat. Like, we could have another Squirtle Community Day or another Bulbasaur Community Day. I would hate this, but since this would be considered like the 5th year for community days, we may get Pikachu. I just have to mention it, whether you like it or not. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. I know it's a long one and a complicated one, but I mean, with all of these community days that we had, and just predicting what could be what for a community day nowadays, like, this is the most organized and most, like significant way to do so. Like, how to figure out, like, what could be a community day and what could not. You know what I'm saying? So, if you guys like some of these, let me know in the comments below. If there's something I forgot, like, dude, like, you forgot to mention Hoppip. Like, okay. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.